Hi, I'm Bob Schmidt with Sacrete. Are you planning on installing a walkway, a patio, or possibly a slab for storage? Today I'm going to walk you through step by step how easy it is to create something concrete with Sacrete. So let's get started. Today we're going to install a slab just outside of this door. As you can see now, when you open this door and you step out, you're stepping onto grass. We need a concrete slab right here. Right now we are establishing the boundaries for our slab. We've determined that the slab needs to be 4 feet by 4 feet. Setting our second corner. And then we finish off. Now we need to excavate the area where we're going to place the slab. We'll set our grade off of this area right along the door. Since we've determined that our slab is going to be 4 feet by 4 feet, you can see that I have here a 2 by 4 by 8 feet long. So I'm simply going to cut it in half, and that will form two of the boundaries for our slab. We're going to make our concrete slab 4 inches deep. In this case, we've excavated, but we've actually excavated a little bit more than what we needed to. So we're going to fill back in just a little bit before we put in our gravel base. Right now I'm just working on getting the proper level. Just want to make sure that we're pitched a little bit away from the door. We can safely take out our strings now. Now we're just going to nail our forms together. Just need enough to contain things. All right, we are perfectly level there. When you put a slab on grade like this, if you have any water movement whatsoever underneath the slab, it'll cause the slab to move and to buckle. By placing gravel underneath, it will allow for the free flow of water underneath of the slab. As we put some Sacrete all-purpose gravel into the excavation. Typically you don't need more than 1 inch or 2 of gravel. Okay, we are perfectly level side to side. We have just a very slight pitch away from the building. We're ready for concrete. This is an 80-pound bag of concrete, which calls for approximately 3.5 to 4 quarts of water. So I'm going to begin by adding most of the water and then holding some in reserve if we need it. You don't have to use a mixer when you're pouring concrete. You can mix in a wheelbarrow, you can mix in a mortar pan, but a mixer makes life much simpler. This particular slab that we've done here is going to take 8 bags of concrete. That's 8 80-pound bags. 640 pounds of concrete is a lot of concrete to mix up by hand. This is an inexpensive rental that we've gotten for the day, and it will make our job much easier. I'm adding just a little bit of water at a time. When you first start mixing concrete, the tendency immediately is to ball up. You need to add enough water until all those balls go away and the material is dropping freely from one flight to the next inside the mixer. You'll notice the consistency of this concrete. You might think it's a little bit on the stiff side. This is actually the consistency you're looking for. When you make a concrete so wet that it wants to fill into all the spaces by itself without any movement, you've compromised the integrity of the product. You've now got a product that's going to be considerably weaker than what it's designed to be. All right, we should have close to the amount of material that we need now, if not a little bit more. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a 2x4. We're going to screed this off at this point just to make sure we've got the right amount of material. What we're going to do now is just take some of this and make sure we've got everything filled. All we're doing right now is just basically leveling. You can take the board back up, start again. You'll notice we're moving the board in a sawing action. That's very important because, one, it's very difficult to drag this across the concrete if you don't. And two, this helps to ensure that everything is completely filled. You won't have any voids underneath if you use this sawing action here. The two biggest things that people do wrong with concrete are, one, over water, and two, over trowel. If I take this trowel and I continue right now to work and work and work this to make it a masterpiece, all it will do is bring the fines to the surface. When you do that and the water and the fines come to the surface unnaturally, you're going to create a weak surface. If you can see the surface of this, it looks like there's kind of a wet sheen to it. Once that wet sheen goes away, then we'll know that it's time to come back with a different tool and put a final surface on it. But for now, we're done. We've waited now probably about an hour. This is when it's ready for the final trowel coat. Now you'll notice that that sheen comes back, and that's okay. We are in fact bringing some of the fines to the surface, and that's okay at this point. We just didn't want all that water on the surface before. That needed to bleed off. I would recommend that you put a broom finish on the concrete. Using an ordinary house broom, simply take the broom, lay it on the concrete, and drag it across the concrete. I'm not exerting any pressure, gently pulling the broom across to create a textured surface.